When your partner dies, Centrelink does not just adjust a number on a form, it reassesses your entire retirement income from scratch on a new set of rules at the worst possible time to be dealing with paperwork. If you do not understand how that reassessment actually works, it can quietly cost you part of your pension right when you need it most. So here's exactly what happens, step by step, and how to make sure it doesn't blindside you. The first thing that happens is designed to help, not hurt you. Centrelink runs what's called a bereavement period, and it covers 14 weeks starting from the day your partner died. During this period, you're generally paid a lump sum bereavement payment, calculated as the difference between what you and your partner were getting combined as a couple and your new rate as a single person. In plain terms, it cushions the drop for those first 14 weeks, so your income doesn't collapse the moment you're dealing with a funeral, paperwork, and grief all at once. This part genuinely works the way you'd hope it would. To put a number on it, a couple on the full pension together receive noticeably more combined than a single person does on their own. So if a couple was receiving something in the order of $47,000 a year between them, and the surviving partner's new single rate is somewhere around $31,000, the bereavement payment covers roughly that gap for the 14-week transition period, paid as a lump sum rather than trickled out fortnight by fortnight. It's specifically designed so the loss of your partner's share of the payment doesn't hit you the same week you're arranging a funeral. But here's the part that catches people who assumed the hard part was already behind them. Once that 14-week bereavement period ends, Centrelink reassesses you properly, as a single person, against a completely different set of thresholds than the ones you and your partner were assessed against as a couple. And this is where the real trap sits, because it's not really about the payment rate at all. It's about your assets. As of the middle of this year, a homeowner couple can have combined assets up to around $499,000 and still get the full pension. A single homeowner's threshold for the full pension is around $333,000. Now here's the catch, almost nobody explains. When your partner dies, you don't lose half your assets. In the vast majority of cases, you inherit all of them. So a couple sitting comfortably under their combined $499,000 threshold can, overnight, become a single person sitting on that same total amount, now measured against a threshold that's a third lower than what they were assessed against as a couple. Nothing about their actual wealth changed. Only the yardstick did. And that mismatch is exactly what can cut a pension that was completely secure a few months earlier. Let's make that concrete. Picture a homeowner couple with $480,000 in combined assessable assets, comfortably under their $499,000 couple threshold, drawing close to the full pension between them. One partner passes away. The survivor inherits the full $480,000, but they're no longer assessed as a couple. They're assessed as a single person against a threshold of around $333,000. That's roughly $147,000 over the new limit, and every dollar over that threshold reduces the pension, right down towards zero for a large enough excess. A grieving widow or widower can go from a secure part or full pension to a dramatically reduced one, purely because the measuring stick changed underneath them, not because anything about their actual position got worse. The income test can quietly compound this too. Singles and couples have different income-free areas before payments start reducing, and a single person's threshold, while somewhat higher per person than half of a couple's combined figure, still doesn't come close to matching the total income the surviving partner may now be receiving from what used to be two people's combined super and investments. And there's a specific trap hiding inside superannuation itself. If the deceased partner had an account-based pension with a reversionary nomination, or the survivor receives it as a death benefit, that balance often gets added straight onto the survivor's own super, increasing their assessable assets at exactly the same moment their threshold just dropped from the couple rate to the single rate. Two separate rules, both moving in the same painful direction at the same time. Take that same couple from before, sitting on $480,000 combined, but now imagine $80,000 of that was actually the deceased partner's own super, which rolls over to the survivor as a death benefit rather than being split or spent. The survivor's own assessable assets haven't just stayed the same, they've effectively grown by that $80,000 at the exact moment their pension threshold shrank from the couple rate down to the single rate. That's the compounding effect in action, and it's precisely why a number that looked completely safe as a couple can turn into a real reduction within a matter of months. This doesn't only apply to couples who were both drawing a full pension together either. If only one partner was ever eligible, because the other had super or savings that pushed the couple over the threshold together, the surviving partner's position can actually improve after reassessment, since they're now measured on their own, smaller share of assets against the single threshold, rather than being dragged down by a combined figure. So the direction of the shock genuinely depends on how the assets were split and who was assessed on what beforehand, which is exactly why checking the actual numbers matters more than assuming either outcome. So what should you actually do, either for yourself or for a parent going through this? In practical terms, this starts with notifying Centrelink of the death, which requires the date of death and usually a death certificate once it's issued. Centrelink can often begin the bereavement process with an interim document if the official certificate is still being processed, so don't wait on that alone. First, notify Centrelink as early as you reasonably can. The bereavement payment and correct reassessment timing depend on it, and delays can complicate things further. Second, before the 14-week period ends, get a clear picture of where the surviving partner's inherited assets sit against the single threshold, not the old couple one. That's the exact number most people never think to check until a payment notice arrives and confuses them. Third, if the numbers are close to that single threshold, this is precisely the situation to bring to a licensed financial advisor or a free financial information service appointment before the reassessment lands, not after, because there are legitimate ways to plan around it once you know it's coming. And fourth, even if the pension itself reduces or stops, check the Commonwealth Seniors Health Card and the Pensioner Concession Card separately. Losing the pension payment doesn't automatically mean losing every concession attached to it, and a lot of newly single retirees assume it's all or nothing when it usually isn't. The honest takeaway is this: the emotional and financial impact of losing a partner is already enormous, and Centrelink's rules add a second, quieter shock on top of it if you don't see it coming. The bereavement payment softens the first 14 weeks. What comes after that softening period is the part that actually determines your retirement income for the rest of your life, and it's driven entirely by a threshold most people have never even heard of until it's already been applied to them. None of this is a reason to panic in advance, and it's genuinely not something you can fix retroactively once the reassessment has already landed. It's something to understand calmly, ideally before you need it, or as early as possible in that 14-week window if you're living through it right now. Because the couples who come out the other side with the least disruption are almost always the ones who checked their number against the single threshold early, not the ones who waited for a payment notice to tell them. Two honest notes. First, every rate and threshold here is indexed and changes regularly, so confirm the exact current figures with Services Australia before relying on them. Second, this is general information, not personal advice. This is exactly the kind of situation to take to a licensed financial advisor or a free financial information service appointment through Services Australia, ideally before the bereavement period ends, not after. If this is something you or someone you love is facing, tell me in the comments. It helps me know what to cover next. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.